Ladies and gentlemen, we often confuse surrender with defeat. In the world's eyes, surrender means giving up, walking away, or losing control. But in the eyes of God, surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the highest form of strength, because it requires humility, trust, and the ability to let go of our own limited perspective in exchange for God's infinite understanding. To surrender is not to quit the journey. It is to place the journey in the hands of the one who designed the path in the first place. Too many of us spend our days chasing control. We try to manage every detail, fix every problem, and anticipate every outcome. We calculate, we strive, we plan endlessly, believing that if we can just stay one step ahead, we can avoid pain or failure. But life doesn't work like that. Even with all the effort in the world, we still face setbacks. Even with perfect strategies, we still get blindsided. That's because no matter how skilled or smart we are not God, and trying to live as if we are is not just exhausting, it's unsustainable. Surrender in its truest form is a conscious decision to acknowledge God's sovereignty. It's looking at your situation, your plans, your fears, and saying, I no longer want to carry the burden of controlling this. I trust you with the outcome. That moment of release is where the real shift begins. It's not an act of weakness. It's a declaration of wisdom, because only a wise person understands the limitations of their own hands. Only a wise person knows when to stop struggling and start trusting. When you surrender, you open the door to peace. As long as you try to control everything, anxiety follows. You worry about how things will turn out, what people will think, whether the timing is right, and whether you're doing enough. But when you place it all in God's hands, peace rushes in. That peace doesn't come from knowing how everything will work out. It comes from knowing that even if you don't know, God does, and that is enough. Surrender also requires courage. It takes courage to let go. It takes courage to stop forcing things. It takes courage to say, God, I trust your plan more than I trust my own. The world may not understand that kind of decision. People might tell you that you need to take charge, push harder, hustle more. But real courage is found in stepping back and letting God lead. It's found in resting when everyone else is rushing. It's found in praying when everyone else is panicking. There are things you've been trying to figure out on your own for too long. Situations you've wrestled with in your mind. Problems you've replayed over and over again, waiting for a breakthrough. And maybe the answer hasn't come because you haven't surrendered it yet. Maybe what God is waiting for is not another plan, but your permission to take over. He is not forcing himself into your situation. He's waiting for your surrender, your invitation. Think about it. When was the last time you truly let something go? When was the last time you gave it to God and didn't take it back? Often we say we surrender, but what we really do is pray and then continue to worry. That's not surrender. That's spiritual multitasking. True surrender is saying, God, this is yours now. I trust you with it completely. I will not carry it anymore. And then you walk forward with peace, even if the situation hasn't changed yet. That's faith. That's wisdom. That's surrender. God doesn't need our control. He asks for our trust. He already has the power to change circumstances, open doors, and align everything perfectly. But he honors free will. He gives us the choice. Will we keep clinging to our own understanding, or will we lay it down and trust his plan? Surrender is the answer to that question. And every time we choose it, we step into alignment with divine timing and divine protection. Sometimes we only learn surrender when we have no other choice, when everything falls apart and we realize we were never in control to begin with. But wisdom is choosing surrender before we're forced to. It's saying, God, I won't wait until I'm broken and exhausted. I choose now to trust you with my life, my future, my family, my dreams. That decision is not weakness. That decision is spiritual maturity. That decision is freedom. So if you've been holding on too tightly, if your heart is heavy from the weight of trying to manage everything, today is your invitation to let go, not to give up, but to give over. To place it all in hands far more capable than your own. Because surrender is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a better one, and it's not weakness. It's the wisest decision you will ever make. One of the hardest truths we must face is that the control we think we have in life is, more often than not, an illusion. We build our schedules, structure our goals, micromanage our futures, and convince ourselves that if we plan hard enough and do everything right, life will obey our commands. But then something unexpected happens. A phone call, a loss, a delay, a door that closes without warning. And suddenly, the world reminds us that we were never in control to begin with. And that realization can either bring us to anxiety, or it can push us toward peace. The difference lies in one word: trust. Trust is not passive. It is not sitting around hoping something good happens. Trust is active. It's intentional. It's choosing, day after day, to believe that even when you can't see how, even when the pieces don't make sense, even when things feel chaotic, God is still working, and more importantly, He's still in control. Many of us are living with stress, not because life is more difficult than it used to be, but because we've bought into the lie that we must hold everything together. We've told ourselves that if we stop pushing, everything will fall apart. We live as though our striving is what keeps the universe in order, but that pressure was never ours to carry. We were never designed to be our own gods. We were never meant to bear the weight of outcomes, timelines, and results all on our own. The more you try to control what you were meant to trust God with, the more exhausted you become. Control leads to anxiety because it creates the false belief that you are the only one responsible for making things happen. But peace, true peace, does not come from having everything figured out. It comes from surrendering the need to figure everything out. It comes from placing control back where it belongs, in God's hands. There's a reason why trust is central to every relationship. Without it, love becomes fear and connection becomes control. The same is true with our relationship with God. When we don't trust Him, we try to control Him, manipulate situations with prayers we don't really believe or try to earn answers by being perfect. But that's not relationship. That's performance. God doesn't want our performance. He wants our trust. He wants our honesty. He wants us to admit, I don't understand, but I believe you do. I can't control this, but I believe you can. I'm letting go, not because I've given up, but because I believe you'll take it from here. So many of us think peace will come when life calms down. We think we'll finally be at rest when the money is right, when the job is stable, when the relationship is fixed, or when the dream comes true. But that's not peace. That's comfort disguised as peace. True peace is not circumstantial. It's spiritual. It's the calm that remains even when the storm doesn't stop. It's the steady breath in the middle of uncertainty. It's the quiet confidence that says, no matter what happens around me, I know who is holding me. To let go of control is to make room for that kind of peace. It is to admit our limits and embrace God's limitlessness. It is to say, I trust you more than I trust what I see. I trust your character more than I trust my circumstances. That shift doesn't come overnight, and it doesn't mean we stop planning or preparing. But it does mean that we no longer cling to our plans as if they are the only way. We become flexible in our hearts, knowing that the hand of God may redirect us at any time, and that His redirection is always for our good. The world will always tempt us to tighten our grip on time, people, outcomes. But faith calls us to loosen it, to open our hands and say, Lord, not my will, but yours. That is where peace lives, not in the grip, but in the release. There is incredible freedom in no longer pretending to be in control. When you realize that you're not the one keeping the universe in motion, you can finally exhale. You can finally sleep at night. You can finally breathe, because it's not all on you. It never was. You're not alone, and you're not abandoned. You are watched over, you are led, and you are safe in hands far greater than your own. So if your life feels heavy right now, if anxiety has taken root in your heart, if you're tired of trying to control things that seem uncontrollable, this is your invitation. Not to quit, but to shift, to release, to trust, because control is an illusion, but peace, true peace, comes only when you stop grasping and start believing. Leave it in God's hands and watch how peace replaces pressure, trust replaces fear, and rest replaces restlessness. There are moments when life feels like a puzzle with missing pieces. You may wonder why certain doors never opened, why particular people walked away, or why your plans, no matter how well thought out, didn't unfold the way you imagined. These moments often give rise to questions like, what is my purpose? Or have I missed my calling? It's easy to feel lost when things aren't clear, but here is a truth that never changes. Even when you feel confused, God is not. He has never been uncertain about your life's purpose, not for a moment. Before you were born, there was already a plan in place, a purpose tailored to your gifts, your potential, and even your pain. God doesn't guess when He creates. He designs with intention, with clarity, and with divine precision. That means even when you can't see how the puzzle fits together, He's already holding the completed picture in His hands. Your path is not an accident, it's a process. But too often we confuse purpose with position. We think our purpose is tied to a specific job, title, or season. And when those things change or fall apart, we assume we've failed. But purpose isn't a single destination. It's the thread that runs through your entire life. It is the reason you were born, the impact you were meant to have, and the calling that continues to grow even through seasons of stillness. It is not fragile. It doesn't disappear when plans change. It adapts, it deepens, it strengthens through trials, through growth, and even through disappointment. Sometimes, what feels like a detour is actually a divine direction. God sees what you cannot. He knows the people who need your story, the lives that will be changed through your obedience, and the timing that will bring the most fruit. You may think you're late, off track, or behind, but God doesn't operate on our calendar. He is never in a hurry, yet He is never late. His purpose for you is not derailed because of your delay. He factors in every wrong turn, every missed opportunity, every setback, and still His purpose stands. The key is learning to trust the one who knows the whole map. You may feel like you're wandering through fog, but He is guiding every step. That job you didn't get, that person who walked away, that dream that hasn't happened yet. All of it is seen, all of it is known, and none of it confuses God. In fact, He may be using those very things to protect you, to prepare you, or to position you for something greater than what you expected. And yet, we often demand clarity before we move. We say, God, show me the entire plan, then I'll obey. But purpose isn't always revealed all at once. Often, it unfolds one step at a time. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next step in faith. Because clarity doesn't always come before obedience. Sometimes obedience unlocks clarity. You might be in a season where you feel forgotten, overlooked, confused, but even when heaven is silent, God is not absent. Silence is not the same as abandonment. Waiting is not wasted when it's surrendered to God. He may be developing something in you before He delivers you into the next season. Because purpose is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. You were not created to drift aimlessly. You were formed with intentionality, gifted uniquely, and called purposefully, and God is not wondering what to do with you. He is not scrambling to find a plan B. He's not waiting for you to become perfect before He uses you. He uses the willing, the surrendered, the ones who dare to trust Him even when they don't understand Him. Your purpose is not locked in your past mistakes. It is alive right now, in your obedience, your faith, your trust. When you align your heart with God, even small steps become part of something eternal. A conversation you have, a decision to forgive, a moment of kindness. All of it can ripple out in ways you'll never fully see. Don't underestimate the power of what you're doing right now. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are exactly where you need to be to take your next faithful step. God is not confused about your life's purpose, and He never has been. He is not pacing heaven, unsure of your next move. He's inviting you to trust Him, to surrender the need to understand every detail, and simply believe that He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. He's already written your story, and it's far greater than anything you could script on your own. So lift your head, take a deep breath, and walk forward, not in fear, but in faith, because God knows exactly where you're going, even if you don't. And His purpose for your life is still in motion. There are times in life when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. The struggles seem endless, and the road ahead appears impossible to navigate. You face challenges that test your strength, your faith, and your resolve. It's easy to feel as though your struggles define you or even have the power to defeat you. But here's a powerful truth. Your struggles are not the end of your story. They are part of your story, yes, but not the end. In fact, the struggles you face today are often the very things that prepare you for the greatness you are destined to achieve tomorrow. Every setback, every trial, every heartache carries within it an opportunity for growth and transformation. The key is learning to see beyond the pain and understand that struggles are not a sign of failure, but a step toward the fulfillment of your purpose. When you're in the midst of a struggle, it can feel like everything is falling apart. You might wonder why things are so hard, why you can't seem to catch a break, or why your plans aren't working out. It's in these moments that your faith will be tested. It's easy to believe in God when everything is going well, when life is smooth and the future looks bright. But when the storms of life come, it's then that you discover the true depth of your faith. It's when things seem impossible that God has the greatest opportunity to show you how capable He is. The truth is, God doesn't waste pain. He doesn't waste hardship. Every struggle you face is an opportunity for God to reveal something new to you about Himself, about His provision, and about your own strength. When you walk through difficult seasons, you learn lessons that success alone could never teach you. You learn to rely on God in ways that a comfortable life never could. You discover what it truly means to surrender and trust, because when everything else is stripped away, you are left with the only thing that matters, God's presence. You might feel alone in your struggles. You might feel like no one understands what you're going through, that your pain is too deep or your situation too complex for anyone to grasp. But you are not alone. God walks with you every step of the way. He doesn't promise that the road will be easy, but He promises to walk through it with you. You are never abandoned in your struggles. The Bible tells us that God is close to the broken-hearted, and He saves those who are crushed in spirit, Psalm 34:18. He is with you in the fire, in the valley, and in the wilderness. It's important to remember that even though struggles are hard, they are temporary. No matter how difficult your circumstances may seem right now, they are not permanent. Seasons change. What seems like a mountain today may soon become a memory. The obstacles you're facing are not the final word on your life. They are simply part of the process that God is using to shape you into who you are becoming. Remember, diamonds are made under pressure and gold is refined by fire. You may be in a season of refinement, but that doesn't mean the story is over. Struggles often lead to breakthroughs. It's when you face adversity that you discover your true strength and resilience. The Bible says that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 35. You may be in a night season right now, but joy is on the horizon. Your breakthrough is coming, and it's often through the struggles that God prepares you to handle the blessings He is about to pour into your life. Moreover, your struggles are not just for you. They are for the people you will inspire, the lives you will touch, and the story you will tell. People need to see that you didn't give up, that you didn't let your struggles define your worth or your future. Your story is powerful. It's in your battles that you develop the compassion to help others, the wisdom to advise others, and the strength to lift others up. What you overcome today will be the testimony that encourages someone else tomorrow. You are not your struggles. Your worth is not determined by the challenges you face, but by the one who created you. Your identity is not found in your circumstances, but in God's love for you. You are more than a conqueror through Christ, Romans 8:37. Your struggles do not define your destiny. They refine you for it. The journey may be tough, but God is faithful. Every struggle you face is a reminder that God has equipped you with everything you need to overcome. The difficulties you face today are not signs of defeat. They are the moments that will build your character, strengthen your faith, and prepare you for the incredible purpose that awaits you. So, when life gets difficult, when the weight feels too heavy to carry, remember that your struggles are not the end. They are part of the process, part of the story God is writing in your life. Hold on. Trust in Him, keep moving forward, because the best chapters of your life are still ahead. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools we have in our lives, yet it is often one of the hardest to practice. It's easy to forgive someone when they haven't hurt you, when there's no betrayal, no deep wound, or no lasting pain. But when someone causes you real harm, when their actions leave a mark on your heart, forgiveness seems like an impossible mountain to climb. And yet, forgiveness isn't just a gift to the person who wronged you. It's a gift to yourself. Holding on to bitterness, anger, and resentment does not harm the person who hurt you. It harms you. It eats away at your peace, your joy, and your well-being. Unforgiveness keeps you tethered to the past and the pain, while forgiveness releases you from that burden, allowing you to move forward with your life. When we hold on to anger, we are essentially letting the person who hurt us continue to hurt us, day after day. But when we choose forgiveness, we let go of their hold over us. One of the most profound truths about forgiveness is that it doesn't mean excusing the wrong that was done to you. Forgiveness doesn't mean saying, "It's okay," or pretending like the hurt didn't matter. It's not about minimizing the pain or pretending that it didn't affect you. Instead, forgiveness is about letting go of the power the hurt has over you. It's about choosing to release the negative emotions attached to the wrongdoing. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of resentment that keep you stuck in a cycle of pain. Forgiveness also doesn't mean that you have to reconcile with the person who hurt you, or that you have to allow them back into your life. It's not about giving them access to your heart again. Forgiveness is about your peace, your healing, and your ability to move forward. It's about choosing to stop carrying the weight of their actions and instead giving it to God. Forgiveness is an act of surrender. It's about saying, "I'm not going to let this situation, this person, or this pain control me anymore." It's not easy. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes time. But forgiveness is a decision, and it's a decision that releases you into a new freedom. In the Bible, we are taught to forgive as God forgives us. We are reminded that forgiveness is not just a one-time event, but a continual process. Jesus taught us that forgiveness is essential to our own healing. In Matthew 6:14-15, he says, "For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins." This is not meant to make us feel condemned, but rather to show us how intertwined forgiveness is with our own freedom. When we forgive, we open ourselves up to receive the fullness of God's love and grace. We allow His peace to fill our hearts, replacing the anger, bitterness, and resentment that have kept us imprisoned. One of the most beautiful aspects of forgiveness is that it breaks the cycle of hurt. When someone hurts us, our natural reaction is often to hurt them back. We want to get even, to make them feel the same pain we've felt. But retaliation only perpetuates the cycle of hurt. It doesn't bring healing. It doesn't bring closure. It doesn't restore the relationship. Forgiveness, on the other hand, has the power to break that cycle. It stops the negative energy from flowing and creates space for healing, for peace, and for restoration. Forgiveness is also not just for the big offenses, it's for the small ones too. Every time we forgive, we practice releasing the hold that anger and resentment have on us. It's like building a muscle. The more we forgive, the easier it becomes. We start with the small offenses, the forgotten promises, the thoughtless words, the misunderstandings, and we work our way up. Over time, we develop a heart that is quicker to forgive, one that understands the deep peace that comes from letting go of offenses. The journey of forgiveness is a personal one. It may take time, and it may require you to revisit the hurt more than once before you can truly let go. But know this, you are not alone in this process. God is with you every step of the way. He will give you the strength to forgive even when it feels impossible, and He will heal your heart as you take that step of faith. Forgiveness does not negate the pain. It does not deny the hurt or the injustice, but it is the key to freedom. It's the key to releasing the chains of the past and moving forward into the future. It's the key to walking in peace and joy, no longer weighed down by the bitterness and anger that once held you captive. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts of faith you can offer. It's a choice that acknowledges God's sovereignty and His grace in your life. It's an act of surrendering your right to hold a grudge and trusting God to heal you and deal with the wrongs in His time and in His way. And in doing so, you open the door to the fullness of God's peace, love, and healing in your own heart. So today, if you're holding on to unforgiveness, know that you don't have to carry that weight anymore. Let it go. Surrender it to God. Trust that He will heal your heart, restore your peace, and release you from the burden of bitterness. Forgiveness may not be easy, but it is the path to true freedom. There are times when we look back on our lives and feel overwhelmed by the weight of past mistakes, regrets, and missed opportunities. It's easy to allow the past to define us, to let it shape the way we see ourselves, and to hold us back from moving forward. The pain of past failures, broken relationships, and lost dreams can feel like chains that keep us stuck in a place of hopelessness. But here's the truth, your future is brighter than your past. The past is a chapter, not the whole story. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made or how many times you've fallen down. What matters is what you choose to do today and how you choose to look toward tomorrow. Your future is not determined by your past. It's determined by the choices you make in this moment and the steps you take toward the life you want to create. Too often, we carry the weight of our past like a heavy backpack filled with old wounds and regrets. We replay our failures over and over in our minds, wondering what could have been different if we had made different choices. But holding on to the past only holds us back from embracing the future that is waiting for us. When we constantly look behind us, we miss the opportunities that lie ahead. It's important to understand that God doesn't see you through the lens of your past mistakes. He sees you through the lens of His grace, His love, and His plan for your life. Your past may have been filled with struggle, disappointment, and failure, but those things do not define who you are. You are not your past. You are a new creation in Christ, and the future He has planned for you is filled with hope, purpose, and possibility. The Bible says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" Isaiah 43:18-19. This is an invitation to release the past and embrace the new things that God is doing in your life. Your past may have been difficult, but your future is not confined to those experiences. God is constantly working in your life, bringing new opportunities, new growth, and new possibilities. The future He has for you is not limited by your past. It's a future that is full of promise. We often get caught in the trap of comparison, looking at others and thinking that we've missed our chance or that their success means we will never achieve the same. But remember, everyone has a unique journey. Your story is not theirs, and your path will not look the same as someone else's. Just because you haven't reached your destination yet doesn't mean it's too late. God has a plan specifically for you, and the timing of that plan is perfect. His ways are higher than our ways, and His timing is always right. The fact that you're still here means that God is still working in your life, still guiding you, still preparing you for the future He's created for you. It's also important to recognize that setbacks and failures are not signs that you're doomed to a life of mediocrity. In fact, they often serve as stepping stones to something greater. Success is not a straight line. It's a journey of learning, growing, and becoming. Every failure, every setback, Every mistake is a lesson that teaches you something important. It may not feel like it in the moment, but those lessons are preparing you for the success that lies ahead. Don't be afraid to fail. Embrace failure as a part of the process, because it is through failure that we grow the most. Your past doesn't disqualify you from the future that God has for you. In fact, He often uses the very things we see as failures or mistakes to prepare us for greater things. The pain of your past is not wasted. It is part of the story that God is writing in your life. Those struggles, those moments of weakness, are shaping you into the person you need to be in order to fulfill your purpose. The person you are becoming is stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of what you've been through. And here's the amazing thing: your future is not limited by your current circumstances. You might be facing challenges today, but those challenges are not the end of the story. The Bible reminds us that with God all things are possible, Matthew 19:26. No matter where you are today, no matter how difficult things may seem, your future can still be brighter than your past. You are not defined by your current situation. You are not confined by your circumstances. God has the power to turn things around and to make all things work together for your good, Romans 8:28. So, don't look at your past as a final destination. Don't allow the mistakes and regrets of